Hey friends, I have a great story called A Hen for Izzy Pippik. It's about a little girl who's really brave and stands up for what she believes in and saves her town. A Hen for Izzy Pippik, written by Aubrey Davis, illustrated by Marie LaFrance, published by Kids Can Press. Shayna perched on the porch with her eyes shut and listened. Mama's sewing machine chattered in the kitchen. Baby Pinkus pounded a pot. Grandpa whistled an old-time tune. In the market across the road, a nanny goat bleated. A truck puttered past. A cuckoo cooed from Mr. Fine's clock shop. Shayna wished she could still dust for Mr. Fine. She wished she could help the other merchants too, but people had little to spend these days. There were few shoppers in the market and fewer jobs to do. Times were tough. Suddenly, Shayna felt a pickety-peck on her toe. She jumped up and her eyes popped open. Yuck! It's a chicken, she gasped. Shayna had never seen such a magnificent hen. She had emerald green feathers with golden speckles and a ruby red comb. Where did you come from? Are you lost? Walk! Shayna picked her up and smoothed her feathers. Don't worry, little chicken. I'll find out where you live. The hen snuggled in her arms as Shayna raced across the road to the market. She showed the hen to every shopkeeper and peddler, but nobody had ever seen the beautiful bird before. I wish you could tell me where you belong, sighed Shayna. Buck, buck, buck. Suddenly she spotted two muddy tracks in the road. She followed them to a pothole. Beside it sat a broken wooden crate with a sign that read, Izzy Pippik, Chickens and Eggs. Shayna grabbed the crate and raced home with the hen squawking behind her. Mama gasped. Pinkus gurgled. Grandpa smacked his lips. Chicken soup, he asked. Fricassee, replied Mama. We can't eat her, Shayna cried. She belongs to Izzy Pippik. Who's he? Mama asked. Shayna pointed to his name on the crate. It's his crate, so it's his chicken. I think she escaped when it fell off his truck. The hen fluttered onto her shoulder. Mama, can I keep her until Izzy Pippik returns? Who says he's coming back, Shayna? He has to, Mama. She's so beautiful. Winking at Shayna, Grandpa took Mama's hand. What's it gonna hurt? He asked. Mama sighed. For a few days, maybe. Grandpa helped Shayna make a nest for the crate. She carefully set the hen inside. I'll call you Yevka, she said. Grandpa grinned. That's a pretty name, Shaynala. Early in the morning, Yevka cackled loudly. The sleepy family shuffled to the nest where a pearly egg glowed in the straw. Scrambled? Asked Grandpa. Poached, replied Mama. Baby Pinkus burped. We can't eat this egg, Shayna frowned. Why not? Mama asked. If it's Izzy Pipkin's hen, it's his egg, too. Eggs don't keep forever, muttered Grandpa. Shayna laughed. Mr. Pippik will come before then. In a few weeks, 12 fuzzy chicks were peeping and pecking and poking about. They ate the baby's biscuits and they spilled Grandpa's soup. They scratched Mama's stockings to pieces. They grew peskier by the day, and Mama's grumbles grew with them. Shayna, whispered Grandpa, Mr. Pippik had better hurry. He won't be long, Grandpa. One morning, two young roosters began to squabble, and the whole flock joined in. Teacups crashed, saucers smashed, feathers filled the air. Mama stormed to the cupboard and snatched a broom. This is not a hen house, she hollered. These birds have got to go. Please, Mama, Shayna begged. Let them stay. But Mama was in a foul mood. She raised her broom and charged. Squawking chickens flew out the door and onto the road. The street sweeper gasped. The postman laughed. The baker smacked his lips. Boiled? He asked. Baked, replied the postman. Catch them, the sweeper cried. With hoots and hollers, the townsfolk poured into the market. They chased the birds under push carts, over crates, and all around the square. Leave them alone, shouted Shayna. You can't eat these chickens. With hot, hungry eyes, the people swarmed around. Why not? They howled. Shayna explained that they belonged to Izzy Pippik. You silly girl, they sneered. He's not coming back. Yes, he will, Shayna snapped. Grandpa pushed through the crowd and held her tight. This is how you treat an honest little girl, he thundered. It'll hurt to wait and see. The people blushed and lowered their eyes. One by one, they shuffled away. For now, the birds are safe, Grandpa murmured, but your Izzy Pippik had better come soon. Shayna kissed his cheek. He will, Grandpa. But Izzy Pippik didn't come. As the months passed, Yevka's chicks grew and had chicks of their own. Then they grew up and had chicks too. Before long, roosters crowed from rooftops and hens nested in every nook. Hundreds of chickens flapped around the square. They toppled trash cans, fought for food, and cackled from morning to night. They grew rowdier by the day, and the people's grumbles grew with them. You're a hard-headed nuisance, Shayna, they hissed. Your Pippik will never come. Yes, he will, she shouted. Still, he didn't come. Though other people did. By foot and by car, they trekked into town. Soon curious sightseers rolled in by the busload to see the great flock. And each night they left with shopping bags bursting with socks, dishes, bagels, and more. Every shop in town was open and every shelf was full. With business booming, people forgot their anger, and Shayna found plenty of jobs again. One day she was spreading ice for the fishmonger. Your chickens make us so happy, he said. They're not mine, snapped Shayna. They belong to Izzy Pippik, so they'll all have to go. You're always saying that, wailed the fishmonger. Can't you see they belong here? A curious crowd gathered. They moaned and muttered and started to chant, We love them, we need them, we want them to stay. Over the hubbub, a truck horn blared. Auga! Move aside, shouted the driver. You're blocking the road. Just who do you think you are? Someone yelled. The man pointed to the sign on his truck. You can read it for yourself, maybe. The people gasped. It's Izzy Pippik. He's come at last, cried Shayna. She scooped up Yevka and raced to the truck. I'm Shayna, she panted, thrusting the startled bird into his hands. My precious hen, Pippik cried. You found her. I kept her for you, Shayna declared, and the others too. Izzy Pippik scratched his beard. What others? Shayna pointed to the enormous flock fluttering about the square. But I only lost this hen, he said. These are her chicks. Her chicks' chicks and her chicks' chicks' chicks, she explained. If she's yours, they're all yours. The hen struggled in Izzy Pipkin's arms. Yevka, you must go with him, Shayna whispered. The crowd began to howl. Please don't take our chickens. They've brought us such good fortune. Izzy Pippik looked at the anxious people and the contented flock. He peered into Shayna's unshakable eyes. All these birds are really mine, he asked. Yes, Mr. Pippik, Shayna beamed. He lovingly stroked Yevka's feathers. Suddenly, he tossed the hen out the truck window. What are you doing, Mr. Pippik? Shayna gasped. I'm giving Yevka to you and her flock to the town. But you can't. If they're mine to have, he chuckled, they're mine to give. Then Izzy Pippik blasted his horn. Auga! With a warm-hearted wave, he puttered off through the cheering crowd. Shayna burst into tears. Grandpa rushed over and she buried her face in his coat. You were right, Shayna, he murmured. Izzy Pippik did come. But he didn't take his chickens, she sobbed. Yes, he exclaimed. Isn't it wonderful? Shayna was shocked. But they're his. Are they, Shayna? Listen. Shayna closed her eyes. Roosters crowed. Children cheered. Hens cackled with glee. Happy days are here again, the crowd merrily cried. Suddenly Shayna felt a pickety peck on her toe, and her eyes popped open. She gazed thoughtfully at her feathered friend as the merriment chimed in her ears. Suddenly she burst out laughing. Everyone knows it but me. You belong right here. Yonk! The hen fluttered into her arms. Welcome home, Yevka, she cooed. Walk! The end.